What's up, dudes? Heathen here, and I'm back with this week's book review. This week I'm reviewing Peter V. Brett, The Painted Man, or as it's released in the US, The Warded Man. As you can see by this book, a little bit damaged. I've read this book quite a few times before. I've just finished rereading it, so I thought I'd give it a review. It's a fantasy book. Most of my book reviews are always going to be fantasy or horror. Peter V. Brett, first released in 2008. This was. I'm sure I read it. It must have been whilst when it was released. I read this originally, because I do remember having to wait for the second and third books to come out. It's part of the Demon Cycle, is what his series is called. Now, this world is a fantasy world. It's really interesting, actually. It's about creatures or demons called callings that come up from the core of the planet at night time. They rise at night, and humans are only kept safe behind wards, which they ward their houses and have warding circles which are put about, and demons can't break through these wards. But they come up out of the grounds, these demons do, or out of the core, and these callings just attack humans. They're ferocious creatures, they are. There's lots of different types. Let's go through them. There's wood demons. They come from the forests. There is flame demons who spit fire. There is rock demons, giant lumbering rock demons. There is water demons. There is sand demons. The list of demons just goes on and on and on. The demons are never seen during the day because daylight kills them, much like a vampire. Think of it that way. So sunlight. So that's why they're about at night time, and that's why humans have to hide at night behind wards. This book, the story, this book centers around three pivotal characters, and it's about their passage from childhood into maturity. And very good characters. I really enjoyed the book. I thoroughly recommend it. The three central characters are Arlen, Leisha, and Roger. Arlen, who comes from Tibbet's Brook. Leisha, who comes from Cutter's Hollow. Roger, who comes from Riverbridge. And what this book does is it goes between the three. So it will start off with Arlen. You read a bit about Arlen, then it goes through to Leisha, you read about Leisha, then it goes through to Roger, you read about Roger. Eventually the three of them have their own separate stories, in a sense, their own rites of passages to maturity and their own sort of stories they have, and then they all join up for the end of this book. The book ends really well. No spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. The world that's been created is brilliant. They all survive by hiding behind wards. There's an intro in the book that tells you about how they got to this stage in the world. So there was an age of ignorance where mankind and demons lived together, but there wasn't many demons at the start of this world. There was only a few of them, and they used to attack man and destroy man. They'd tear down whatever he built during the day. And then came the age of the deliverer. Man started writing. They discovered wards, and discovered that some of these wards would defend them from the demons. But not only that, they discovered wards that would harm the demons. So they had fighting wards, and it's called the Age of the Deliverer because a deliverer, one man, came together and formed a huge army, all warded up of warded weapons, and they managed to defeat the demons. The demons just could not stop this onslaught from this deliverer, and then one night the demons just disappeared, completely gone. No one knew what had happened. The deliverer was confused because they were coming every night, and it's like they hadn't. Now, years and years passed, centuries passed, and we came into what was known as the Age of Science, where mankind learned medicine, machines, learned all about the world, and they've forgotten about magic, forgotten about the demons, the callings, forgotten about the wards. And the whole time, throughout this time of peace, the callings were down in the core, and they were breeding, gathering a huge horde. And this was the second demon war. The demons rose one night, and they destroyed so much. So many people lost their lives in the first few years. The great nations were torn apart, great nations destroyed overnight, and scholars scoured through all the libraries, the ruins of the libraries, to try and find something to help fight back against the demons. Science was no good, nothing could fight these demons, nothing, no weapons were strong enough to harm them. And eventually a scholar discovered an old book on wards and scratched these wards into the ground and hoping it would do something, and the demons couldn't get through the wards. Now, they weren't perfect to start off with, people still died, the demons still got through wards, and you come to the age of the world that we're in now, the story starts, which is almost like a dark age. Everyone's living in villages, there's small towns. Some of the towns and cities are warded with huge walls around them, which are warded, and individual houses are warded as well. But most people live out in little hamlets and do what they can during the day, then hide behind the walls at night. And this is an amazing adventure story. It's almost about the second coming of the deliverer. It's a good story centered around 3 characters who I mentioned, and it has a good ending as well. The plot's brought together very well at the end it is. I do like that. There's nothing worse than when you're reading a fantasy story and it's going to be a series and they just kind of get to the end and kind of rush it and, you know, it's like, oh, it's finished. This finished really well. Well, to be a standalone book, but once I finished it like now, I'm really excited for reading the next one. I can't wait to read the next one. The next book is Desert Spear in the series. I'll probably be reading that and reviewing that next. I'll see what books I got to review. I'm going to rate this book 10 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed everything about it. It's a big thumbs up from me, 10 out of 10. If you enjoy fantasy, it's an easy read, very easy read. If you enjoy fantasy, especially Robin Hobb style writing, then I'm sure you will enjoy this. It's a very, very good book and gets my approval. But that's this week's book review. Thanks for taking time to watch this review. Yeah, let me know if you have read the book, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, if you would give it 10 out of 10, what would you what rating would you give this book? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, hit the like button down below. Till next time, guys, take care.
I need to try and figure out